amidst everything in the way of disengaging only. Use the foundation of extinction for any circumstances. Use these keynotes amidst everything, amidst samsara, amidst all beings, amidst all the wishes of all beings and all variations of mind. Don't pay attention to that. Otherwise, it's going to be unbearable to take on their karmic difficulties. Normally, we are already amidst everything, but it's still we that is there. We have to be amidst everything in a way without having someone in the middle of anything. Remind oneself to use the keynotes of discard the discarding itself, let go of the letting go itself. Then it will be the purification of the emptiness for all the prayers that they are doing. Do not be amidst anything with someone in there. Discard the discarding itself, disengage from disengaging itself. Use this reminder. It will purify being amidst something. This is the purification of the extinction and the emptiness. This is even beyond feeding anyone's wishes. Purify oneself amidst anything. Discard the discarding itself. Constantly use the reminder. No grasping for the non-grasping itself. Purifying the dwelling within the mind. That's enough. Then it will turn into the purification of the emptiness. They are coming to you is already good enough. They are coming to you for being blessed. But you need to know how to use for blessing. It cannot use oneself to bless. Dissolve being amidst anything. Conclusion of Nirodha Nibbana. Use all these sentences that are given. It will purify and dissolve the one who is in the middle of anything. Let go of the letting go itself. Discard the discarding itself. No grasping for the non-grasping itself. Not attached to the non-attachment itself. Use any sentences here. You can rotate it. It will purify all the attempt to dwell amidst anything. Amidst anything in the way of blessing. But don't look at the cravings from the beings that they come for praying for their wanting, for their desire. This has nothing to do with loving kindness in this way or that way. Purification of the emptiness is the great compassion. Give this instead for them. Otherwise, it's going to be feeding their desire, feeding the being's desire. Use the great compassion to purify samsara instantly. Remind constantly to purify the attempt to dwell amidst all and everything. This is not about something in the middle of anything. Being amidst everything in the way of not having someone or anything in the middle of anything. Discard the discarding itself. Disengage, discarding the disengaging itself. Being amidst everything in the way, having no one that is in the middle of anything. This is the great compassion that is sharing the blessing. It's the same essence as the great perfection that they are blessing with this essence. Wherever you are in the samsara, you are amidst samsara already. However, amidst anything in the way of having no one there amidst everything, use the reminder to dissolve the attempt to dwell, the maintaining of the mind. Then it will turn into the purification of the emptiness in all directions for samsara.
ไม่ถึงก็ว่าต้องไปเผชิญกับมัน
This is not about confronting
สิ่งที่ประโลกมาอยู่แล้วจะอยู่ในลักษณะ
because
ของรูปแบบไหน
all the made up existence as realms of existence, we are amidst them already. We just use the conclusion to purify the attempt to dwell amidst everything more constantly. Discard the discarding itself. Let go of the letting go itself. There is no need to let go of all beings. There is no need to try to let go of samsara. Let go of the letting go itself instead. And this is the brightness in all directions without limits. Dissolve the maintaining of the mind. Maintaining of the mind is the gathering of samsara suffering, of all beings' sufferings. The attempt to dwell is that center. If you can purify the attempt to dwell, you will purify through the emptiness for samsara. Maintaining like this is not purifying through the emptiness. It's actually setting up for the being's sufferings and their karmic difficulties. We have to dissolve this. Then it will be the power of the great compassion, or the great sunyata, the great void, to purify samsara. The power to bless beings is not the same as the power of maintaining anything, of meditative power or whatever. Is the purification of the emptiness that is the power to purify instead of the meditative power. Discard the discarding itself, disengage from disengaging itself. Then the awareness will not maintaining itself. All the maintaining of the awareness, contemplation, concentration, and insight that is maintained will turn boundlessly. That is turning into the purification of the extinction and the emptiness for the maintaining. That is the power. From the maintain of the awareness, it will turn into boundlessly instead. Discard the discarding itself. Discard the discarding itself. Let go of the letting go itself. This will be boundless. All the contemplation, concentration will be the purification and the power to purify through the emptiness, which is the power of purification, the power of blessing, the power of Mahasunyata Samabhat, contemplative power of nothingness that is doing the purification for samsara. Meditative absorption that is maintained is a samabhat in itself, but it is maintained within itself, not yet expanded, without meanings, as is called sunyata. Let it be sunyata samabhat. Once you start discard the discarding itself, let go of the letting go itself. This is the system of mahasunyata. It turns into purification of the emptiness. Power of the purification of the emptiness is called sunyata samabhat. Mindfulness, concentration, contemplation, insight are all considered as samabhat. They are all samabhat. but it has to be shifted towards discard the discarding itself, let go of the letting go itself, no grasping for the non-grasping itself. Shift it into sunyata without identifying, without giving meanings. In turns, it's gonna be samabat of sunyata, meditative power of nothingness. Amidst all and everything, with the conclusion to purify everything as such. Discard the discarding itself constantly. Disengage from disengaging itself without grasping itself constantly. Disengage from disengaging itself, discarding itself. Every sentence discards itself totally. It dissolves itself. It's not the sentence that grasps anything within itself. Then the benefits for samsara is gonna be by way of purification of nibbana. If they come, just bless them. Shift towards the essence for blessing and continue to purify. You can be anywhere with this brightness. However, the minds of samsara, you can't stop them. Just be the foundation of the purification of the emptiness. Don't present anything to them. Don't feed anything or indulge them, because it's gonna be a waste of time. Whatever the beings are praying for, you're not in the role to feed their desire. In this way, it will not become a waste of time to pay back to each other for the debts of karma. Let go of the letting go itself, no grasping for the non-grasping itself. This is not about not grasping for the beings, not wanting the beings. No grasping for the non-grasping itself is not grasping for itself. Let go of the letting go itself is actually letting go of itself. Once there's nothing in the middle of anything, it will turn into the purification of the emptiness, actually. This is called being in the middle of anything in the way that has no one in the middle of anything. Therefore, when each sentence of the conclusion has been used more often, it will affect by ways of purifying all the angles of delusive attachment that is bound oneself within all forms of dwelling, in all states of mind. This will shift into the mode of Mahasunyata, purifying samsara only. It will end all difficulties. The difficulties is there is because of the setup with the maintaining of the mind, because that is the center of samsara's sufferings, the being's sufferings. That's why it's difficult. With this conclusion, there is no need to be in difficulty. No grasping for the non-grasping itself. This is not about not wanting the beings, not wanting samsara. Discard the discarding itself. This is not about discarding anything. Dissolve being amidst anything with someone there. Being amidst everything in the way without someone that is amidst anything. Just use this reminder to conclude and purify constantly. Automatically, it will not be about someone amidst anything. Step back fully from anything. Step back from the step back itself. Discard the discarding itself without rejecting samsara. Being amidst everything as usual. discard the discarding itself, step back from the stepping back itself. This will give ending to all difficulties. Blessing everywhere, wherever you are.
มันไม่มีผู้โปรดองค์ไหนปฏิเสธสังสารวัฏได้หรอกเพราะมันท่ามกลางสังสารวัฏเป็นองค์ทั้งหมดเราไม่ว่าจะอยู่ที่ไหน
It's impossible to reject samsara for those who bless samsara, because everyone is in the midst of samsara anyhow. No matter where they are, even the Buddhas still holding the space to bless samsara through the emptiness. Purifying through the emptiness, it's impossible to reject samsara until samsara will be no more as samsara altogether. It's impossible to reject samsara. Even you move out from here, you are still amidst samsara as usual. Even you shifting from this realm to another realm, you still amidst samsara as usual. Even you are shifting to heaven realms, you are still in the midst of samsara as usual. As usual. Even you are in the Buddha land, you are still amidst samsara as usual. This is not being amidst anything with someone there. Instead, it's the purification of the extinction and the emptiness. Therefore, don't choose anything. You see those from the land of Sukhavadi, diligently coming down, back and forth. Everywhere is to be helping through ending for samsara only. Once they are humbly coming to you, it's gonna be having to be in a way of helping through ending for each other. Use the infinite force to help them. Later on, when they have the brightness, they will be the joint power to bless together with us. Just shift a tiny bit only. There is no need to go to the beings. They're coming to us already. Be resolute with loving kindness, empathy, sympathy, and that lingering of samsara. Be resolute, cut through decisively, without considerate for samsara. Discard the discarding itself. Let go of the letting go itself without being considerate of one's own mind or samsaras. The great blessed fortune will link to one another automatically. Continue to bless.